Okay, let's start. The Fibonacci studies and finance. At the point when utilized in the specialized examination, the brilliant proportion is ordinarily converted into three rates: 38.2%, half, and 61.8%. In any case, more products can be utilized when required. For example, 23.6%, 161.8%, 423%, etc. In the interim, there are four different ways that the Fibonacci succession can be applied to outlines: retracements, circular segments, fans, and time regions. Notwithstanding, not all may be accessible, contingent upon the outlining application being utilized. Fibonacci retracements. Fibonacci retracements use horizontal lines to indicate areas of support or resistance. Levels are calculated using the high and low points of the chart. Then 5 lines are drawn, the first at 100%, the high on the chart, the second at 61.8%, the third at 50%, the fourth at 38.2%, and the last one at 0%. The low on the chart. After a significant price movement up or down, the new support and resistance levels are often at or near these lines. 2. Fibonacci arcs. Finding the high and low of a chart is the first step to composing Fibonacci arcs. Then, with a compass-like movement, 3 curved lines are drawn at 38.2%, 50%, and 61.8% from the desired point. These lines anticipate the support and resistance levels as well as trending ranges. 3. Fibonacci fans. Fibonacci fans are composed of diagonal lines after the high and low of the chart is located. An invisible vertical line is drawn through the rightmost point. This invisible line is then divided into 38.2%, 50%, 61.8%, and lines are drawn from the leftmost point through each of these points. These lines indicate areas of support and resistance. Unlike the other Fibonacci methods, time zones are a series of vertical lines. They are composed by dividing a chart into segments with vertical lines spaced apart in increments that conform to the Fibonacci sequence: 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc. Each line indicates a time in which major price movement can be expected. The golden ratio can be applied to everything from nature to human anatomy to science. Fibonacci studies are not intended to provide the primary indications for timing the entry and exit of position. However, the numbers are useful for estimating areas of support and resistance. Many people use combinations of Fibonacci studies to obtain a more accurate forecast. For example, a trader may observe the intersecting points in a combination of the Fibonacci arcs and resistances. Fibonacci studies are often used in conjunction with other forms of technical analysis. For example, Fibonacci studies of technical analysis combination with Elliott waves can be used to forecast the extent of the retracements after different waves. Hopefully, you can find your own niche used for the Fibonacci studies and add it to your set of investment tools. Fibonacci retracements are ratios used to distinguish potential inversion levels. These proportions are found in the Fibonacci arrangements. The most famous Fibonacci retracements are 6.1, 0.8%, and 38.2%. Note that 38.2% is frequently adjusted to 38, and 61.8% is adjusted to 62%. After a development, chartists apply Fibonacci proportions to characterize retracement levels and conjecture the degree of an adjustment or pullback. Fibonacci retracements can likewise be applied after a decrease to conjecture the length of a counter pattern skip. These retracements can be joined with different pointers and value examples to make a general procedure. The sequence and ratios. This article isn't intended to dive excessively profound into the numerical properties behind the Fibonacci grouping and golden ratio. There are a lot of different hotspots for this detail. A couple of fundamentals, in any case, will give the vital foundation to the most mainstream numbers. Leonardo Pisano Bugoglio, an Italian mathematician from Pisa, is attributed with acquainting the Fibonacci succession with the West. It is as per the following: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233, 377, 610. The arrangement reaches out to endlessness and contains numerous interesting numerical properties. After 0 and 1, each number is the amount of the two earlier numbers. A number is isolated by the past number approximates 1.618. The estimate approaches 1.6180 as the number's increment. A number partitioned by the following most elevated number approximates 0.6180. 13 divided by 21 equals 0.6190. 21 divided by 34 equals 0.6176. 34 divided by 55 is equal to 0.6181. 55 divided by 89 equal to 0.6179, and so on. The guess approaches 0.6180 as the number's increment. This is the reason for the 61.8% retracement. A number separated by another 2 spots higher approximates 3.820. 13 divided by 34 equals 3.82. 21 divided by 55 equals 0.3818. 34 divided by 89 equals 0.3820. 55 divided by 144 equals 0.31819. And so on. The guess approaches 0.3820 as numbers increment. This is the reason for the 38.2% retracement. Likewise, note that 1 minus 0.618 equal to 0.382. A number isolated by another 3 spots higher approximates 0.2360. 13 divided by 55 equals 0.3263. 21 divided by 89 equals 0.2359. 34 divided by 144 equals 0.2361. 55 divided by 233 equals 0.2361, and so on. The guess approaches 0.2360 as the numbers increment. This is the reason for the 23.6% retracement. 1.618 alludes to the golden ratio or golden mean, likewise called phi. The opposite of 1.618 is 0.618. These proportions can be found all through nature, engineering, workmanship, and science. In this book, Elliott Wave Principle, Robert Pratcher cites William Hoffer from the December 1975 issue of Smithsonian Magazine. The extent of 0.618034 to 1 is the numerical reason for the state of playing a game of cards and the Parthenon, sunflowers and snail shells, Greek containers, and the widening systems of space. The Greeks based quite a bit of their craft and design upon this extent. They consider it the brilliant mean. High alert zones.